I'm excited to see when the drivers leave the garage, so we can finally get a look at these customized liveries, particularly made for the race here. Oh my goodness, as Bowtie mentioned, the ISRL squad in red and the CRL squad in blue, and it looks like we have the first drivers coming out, and it looks like it's for the blue squad. It looks like that's Passassin 72 coming out, probably looking to set his a banker lap, probably at the very least here in qualifying one. So tell me a little bit about Passassin, because I feel you probably know a bit more about him than I do. What can we expect to see from him here in this competition race here?
Surprisingly fast. He's a youngin. His dad is in the league as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
he's kind of still learning this a little bit, but he's got good pace, pretty good awareness. He's came a long way in the last couple months, and he was actually hand selected to be in this. I don't know how did you guys set up your driver list?
I think we started out with, if I remember correctly, I think we started out with some volunteers and took some drivers who are willing to, willing to drive for it. And I think we looked a little bit at pace as well when it came to making some of the decisions. But I'll be honest, I'm not 100% too sure what came into the decision making. If I'm being completely honest with you on that one.
Yeah, no, we for the last one that we did, we kind of let everybody try out, and this time around, we've been running with these guys for a while now. We've got a pretty good idea of pace, so we kind of wanted to hand pick our guys and see how that went for us.
Okay, well, we'll see how that goes here as a lot of the drivers are looking to get their out laps done and probably get a first lap so we can get a bit of a pace or get a bit of an idea of pace here in qualifying one. But for what I'm noticing, Spa-Francorchamps, it's a very long lap, so we're having to wait a long time for the drivers to get on their out laps. But it looks like we're finally going to have some drivers that are going to be starting their flying laps here, so we can potentially get a bit of an idea of what the true pace is going to be here around Spa. And I'm excited to see what the drivers are going to do here. I'm personally riding on board with Azen from the ISRL squad with a really nice red and white livery here from what I can see as he just comes around the first corner looking to go down Eau Rouge. So I'm going to keep an eye on him as he's going through his lap to see what kind of time he can put up.
Yeah, I'm following along with Passassin as he's going to be our pace setter, see what his best lap is right now.
All right, so Azen, unfortunately, he invalidated his lap time, so I'm going to switch over to ISRL Carter, another very fast Tier 1 driver for ISRL as he's just came through Radillon and the Kebble Straight, going through a little bit of this S section here before the downhill U-turn that I cannot remember the corner number or name. But another similar car to the likes that I saw of Azen here, but maybe some slight differences there, rocking that nice red and white shade mix with the, I think it's the premium Tier 3 unlock. But who are you riding on board with? Who are you watching going around the track right now?
We're watching Passassin coming up. You've got your track corners down pretty good. I pretty much lack on that. But he's coming through this last final chicane, about to come across the start-finish.
Start-finish.
See what kind of time he's about to put up here.
And here we go. It's a 1:43.5. Nice time there to kick things off here in qualifying one. Still lots of time, 13 minutes to go in this first qualifying session. D-Junk sets a bit of a faster time, 1:43.32. So some decent times on the board to kick things off. Now let's take a look. Carter's about to cross the line, and he sets a 1:43.368. So currently it's a CRL J-Dunk, if I'm reading that right, on provisional. Yes. Well, on provisional pole here for qualifying one, if that means anything, because it is a full qualifying session here. So potentially some of the drivers may be hiding a bit of their true pace. Looking to show that a little bit later on. Is that something you see a little bit in the league races at all for you guys?
There is a very good tendency for that. But it's different. We're used to racing against each other. We like having a good time. This is more of a competitive nature than you would see with just a league race.
Oh,
We've got a lot of pride going on the line here for some of these
oh,
drivers.
oh, really? So I'm
It
excited to
looks
see
like
what.
one of your guys.
Yeah, Infamous Pillars, a very fast driver in our Tier 1 races here. He says a 142.6. So really setting one of the more faster times a little bit early on here from what we've seen, given a lots of drivers in the 143s at the moment. I'm riding with Chill Mo, so let's see what he's going to do. Is he's going to cross the line. He sets a 144.3, so good enough for 7th for him. But right now, it looks like Infamous Pillars on fastest time so far, but 3 CRL drivers right behind him, probably, and probably some more to come, I would think.
There's a very good possibility of that. I'm wondering if Infamous might be. Is he kind of showing his hand? How's his driving, his pace?
He's got
Was he a volunteer or?
I'm not too sure. He's definitely got some pace from what I've seen in our league races, but I haven't got too much information about how he is around Spa. So we'll have to see going on if he's got a bit more pace. I know lots of the Tier 1 drivers, they like to keep a bit of their pace tucked away in qualifying 1 if they feel they've got the pace to make it through into the next qualifying sessions. And I know Infamous Pillars, sometimes he likes to think that way, so potentially some more pace to come. But I'm actually riding on board with Sweetcrown 19, and he is definitely one of the fastest drivers we've got here. As he's coming through in Sector 3, rocking a slightly different livery than what I've seen with the red and black instead of the red and white. But I'm excited to see what kind of time he can put up, because he's definitely one of the faster drivers we have. So I'm curious to see if he's going to stay on pace, keep some hidden, or if he's going to be showing his hand a little bit early on here. He's going to cross the line, and that's a 141.5 for Sweetcrown 19 in qualifying 1. So setting the bar pretty high, it seems, here. But there's still 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session alone, and, of course, qualifying 2 and qualifying 3. But now that we're seeing some of the drivers setting some times, what do you have to? What are you taking from it so far?
It's looking like this is going to be a pretty interesting battle. I'm really wondering. We've got some of our typically pretty good drivers down at the bottom here, as well as your buddy Knight and Azen. We got quite the bubble. 15.
Yeah, it definitely seems.
Guys...
Oh, sorry. Go on ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think we're gonna be pretty evenly matched.
Oh,
and
yeah.
With the trash talking that we've had here as of the last couple of days, I think we've got quite the lead up to this.
Oh, definitely with the lead up with the trash talk. I saw a lot from Sweetcrown 19, and that might be just a quick time trying to put his money where his mouth is early on. One of the drivers I'm noticing who has not come out quite yet, and who might want to come out soon, is Jer. I know he was throwing a lot of shade around, but it looks like he was having a bit of connection issues. Yeah. At least from what I was seeing, so hopefully he can get those resolved, or at least for his sake, to potentially, put some money where his mouth is on that trash talk as well. But still, lots of time to go.
Comes on in, moving himself up to P4. He had Warriors very shortly behind him. Warriors is fixing to come across the line as well. Let's see how this is about to go for him. Can he move himself better from P16? And he does not. Oh, I guess he may have been on his outlap. I might have been mistaken. He was catching quite the toe off of FIFA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like now he's starting his flying lap. But if FIFA notices he's behind him, he can maybe still slow down just a tiny little bit down the Kemmel straight, give a little bit of toe to Warrior. But I mean, potentially even with the distance, with the maybe a little bit too far away. But still probably a little bit of toe in that start-finish straight, gaining a little bit of time. But we'll see what he can do as he goes around the lap.
Got to give a shout out to Bambino here. He's got the Joker livery going on. Oh, and he's got an invalidated lap as well.
Oh no, and that's a little bit unfortunate that he had to invalidate the lap, as it is a very nice livery he's got, rocking that blue and green. But with 7.5 minutes to go and Spa being a long lap, you're going to lose a lot of time having to change the tires and come back out, do another out lap instead of flying a lap. But I'm sure he can squeeze it in. Maybe has to push a little bit, but it is a little bit unfortunate for him as he tries to go into second qualifying.
This has really got my curiosity piqued here.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, for me personally, when I'm doing, we do full quali for all of our races, and I'm really conscious about my tires. And I'm wondering what's going on between 10th and 15th right now. Are they just as conservative as I might be?
10th and 15th. Well, they might go with a little bit of an aggressive or more aggressive tire strategy in qualifying one, especially if they feel a little bit nervous about being able to squeeze into that qualifying two position. But there is definitely something to say about tire strategy. I know a lot of the Tier 1 drivers for ISRL are used to this full qualifying, but we do have some drivers, the likes of Joseph Cozy, Chilmo, Stunik, that are part of that, and even Azen, who's was on a lap but invalidated his. But they're all part of the Tier 3 who do some short qualifying, so it's a potential new experience for them in this competitive race atmospheres. But I'm very curious to see how they're gonna play out.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Is how you guys actually do y'all's qualifying? Because I mean, when you're like you just said, it's a different experience when you're doing a full quali versus a short, because it's more like a sprint race when you're doing a short quali.
Oh yeah, the short quali I find is a little bit easier in terms of tire management because you can choose to do 2 laps, you can choose to do 3 laps. You know, you can, with the softs and the medium start, you can kind of play around depending on how you potentially feel the race is going to go. But with full qualifying, there's a little bit more strategy involved, I think, in terms of which tires you want to go out with, which tires you want to use, and potentially even when you want to go out to maximize the maximize the tire to track ratio, I guess you could say.
Let's see if I'm now following back along with Assassin sitting in P10.
Sitting in P10, whereabouts is he on track?
Oh, nice. I couldn't even tell you the turn number. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I need
no
to get
worries.
better at this. That's been one thing that's been rough.
No
He's
worries.
in Sector 3, or about to hit Sector 3 shortly.
Oh, here, let's take a look at
that.
Assassin. Looks like, if it's Assassin, he's going around Sector 2, coming near, one of those S turns. I don't remember the name, but it's the little, like, bottom portion of the Uzi on the mini-map from what I like to compare it to. But now he's coming around that last turn before this fast Sector 3 section here, up into 8th gear as he's going to come around this the left-handed bend before the bus stop chicane. Well, let's see if he can improve on his 143.3.
Now, a lot of your drivers here, are you pretty familiar with what kind of equipment they're using?
Well, I'm familiar with some, not overly familiar with others. I know Sweet Crown 19. I know he likes to use the pad, so he's probably on the controller. I've got ISRL Knight actually beside me. I know he's on the wheel. Just got himself a brand new Fanatec that he's rocking at the moment. I know the likes of Stunik and Chill Mo are on the wheel as well, and even Carter I think mentioned today that he was on the wheel too.
Okay. Yeah, we've got pretty much a decent mix of wheel versus pad drivers.
Okay, so it's about 50-50.
Yeah, it's a pretty good mix. We've got anybody running from G29 to the Fanatec CSL, or even just the pad.
Okay, yeah, I know we've got probably more wheel than pad, I would think, but I know in terms of what wheels everybody uses, it's very varied. We've got some Fanatecs, we've got some G29s, we've got some Thrustmasters even, I would think. You know, it's a little bit of everything, from what I've noticed.
Now, what would be your preference?
My preference, I drive on the wheel myself, so I've definitely got the preference to the wheel. I use the G29, so it's definitely the one I'm used to. So that's probably what I'd go for, at least for the time being, since that's what I'm used to driving. But what about yourself? What would you say?
I started out on a I started out on a pad, obviously, and about a month or so into using a pad, I got so passionate that I started wearing blisters and stuff on my thumbs. So I got a T300, and I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I upgraded to the Fanatec, and I've not looked back.
Oh, I could imagine. I got to test drive the Fanatec today, and oh, it was nice.
Who just moved up?
That
Oh,
was actually
Carter.
ISRL Carter, who just finished a lap. Sets a 142.7, and that puts him up into third place
P3.
here in this qualifying one session.
Yeah.
And it looks like somebody else has set a time.
I was not exactly expecting this. Now, granted, we barely have enough time for anybody to get a lap in. But it looks like CRL is kind of running away with the top 10.
Yeah, it looks like it. We've got top 4. ISRL Knight just set a 143.2 up into 12th. But now with a minute and 10 to go, lots of drivers are out there setting their last laps of Q1. So we'll see if Knight is going to try to go for a better time, or if he's potentially just going to sit with this 143.2 in hopes that it's enough to put him through. But yeah, it looks like from 5 through 11, it's all blue, and it looks like for the most part a bit of a wall of blue between the red.
Yeah, and it looks like Knight, your buddy there, is going to be right in between the middle. Oh, and he's out of gas. Oh man, I hate that. That's one of the hardest things to deal with is in doing full quali is, you get down to for me personally, I get down to my last 2 laps of gas, and I want to keep pushing. I feel like I keep getting faster and faster.
Yep, then all of a sudden
I'm getting lighter, but
yep, and all of a sudden no more gas. Yeah, but one of the I'm gonna have to say a bit of a heartbreak early on for one of the powerhouses here is Jer. I know he was talking a lot of smack. He invalidates his lap here, and with 6 seconds to go in this first qualifying session, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it through into qualifying 2. So not what we were hoping to see here, at least on the ISRL side, but, qualifying, it is what it is. It's qualifying. There's still plenty of time left here in the session, a full race to go. So we'll see if he can rebound come race time here. But
yeah, and it doesn't matter. Qualifying it puts you in a spot, but it doesn't really show you the pace. So I mean, there's still an opportunity for him to come from the bottom up to the front. Just have to see what kind of traffic he ends up with.
Oh, definitely.
Following a Stunik, which I jokingly and lovingly call him Asterisk. It's a lot easier to say as he's coming across the line himself.
Up into 12th.
Oh, and he moves himself into 12th, putting Iceman and Stig, 2 blues, outside the bubble, and I believe both of them. Oh, no. Iceman has got a fight, and Stig looks like he just put in his lap and couldn't better.
Yeah, BLK, Stig, Stig, oh my goodness. I need my glasses, but Stig, unfortunately, it looks like that's the end of qualifying for him. Iceman potentially crossed the line in time. I'm not 100% sure. He's got the ERS going all the way, so it looks like he's potentially on a lap. But you've got Knight right now on the bubble, with Azen looking very close as well. But I think now with the end of qualifying 1, it looks like Jer's out from what I can see. Chill Mo with an invalidated time, he's out of qualifying. Joseph Cozy on an out lap, but I don't think it means too much. He's out of qualifying. It looks like Stig and, for the moment, Iceman. We'll see what happens when he crosses the line. Because I think he's the only variable right now. And oh, look at that, up into 12th.
Well done, sir.
So there you go. That's Knight out of qualifying.
Yep. I want to give a quick shout out. Looks like we've got JK checking out our stream. He's our league owner. Buck 3123 giving a shout out. Looks like Vito, one of y'all's guys, giving us a shout out on our stream. And Op 2020, sorry bud, this is a league versus league race. I hope you sit back, enjoy a cold drink, whether it be a soda pop or a beer, and enjoy the entertainment. Warriors has a fan in the stands. And so does Iceman. I'd like to thank all you guys for sitting here watching this with us. As Q1 ends, it looks like Knight, Stig, Joseph, Chill, and you said Jar? Or Yar?
Jer.
Jer.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jer.
Oh, here we go. We got some funnies going on here. Looks like we got somebody giving Passassin props, and our fearless leader for our league says J Dunk is my hero. That's awesome. Op 2020, he just joined the league, bud. He's was not able to get in on this race. I'm sorry, bud.
Oh, that's too bad. Oh, that's too bad he wasn't able to get in, but must be a bit of a hot commodity, a hot seat to get into a race like this one, especially when there's a competition against the rival league. But we finally come to the end of the first qualifying session here. So yeah, from what we noticed, we pointed that out a lot. It looks like the top starts a little bit more red, but from 6th down all the way to about 12th, even 14th, it's all a bit of a wall of blue. So it's gonna make things interesting. Sorry, going ahead.
Kind of English. I was actually kind of wondering what kind of strategy might be happening. I mean, we've got some opportunity to defend. We got a sea of blue that we've got a river of red that has to get through.
Yeah, so it's going to be exciting to see here as we're just awaiting to go into the second qualifying session. Now, this is where we're going to start seeing some of the truer times come out. But there's also some strategy in play here as well. Given that, of course, if you make it through into the top 10 to go on to qualifying 3, the tire you set your fastest time on is the tire you're going to start the race with. So, do you think we're going to see a little bit of some strategy laps going on? Potentially some drivers looking to set their times on the mediums to try to get a strategy advantage going into the race.
I'm not too sure. I mean, this could actually make this even more interesting. And yet again, we got Passassin coming out. He likes that cold track, doesn't he? He's like, I want that free air, no traffic, no nothing.
Yeah, seems like it. Really likes to be the first out on the track. I know I like that as well, just because I don't have to worry about traffic. I can just go out at my own pace, sort of do my own thing on the out lap, really get into the zone. And, potentially if I get lucky as I'm coming around my flying lap, I've got some drivers already going out on their out laps that I can kind of use for a little bit of a tow, especially around a track like Spa, where you can get a lot of an advantage if you can get the right tow from at the right time.
Yeah, this could definitely turn out to be interesting from here on out as far as what the strategy is, what everybody's going to do.
Oh yeah, and at least for the time being, I've got the fitted tire, the fitted tire on the stream here on our side, and it looks like a bit of a split, at least for the time being. Some on the softs, some on the mediums. Although lots of drivers still in the pits, so maybe not an accurate reflection of what they're looking to go out with. But even on the out laps, I'm seeing Aizen, Iceman 22, I think it is, on the mediums. Warrior on his outlap on the mediums. J-Dunk on the mediums, and even J-Dog on the mediums too. So lots of drivers opting to set their first times on those medium tires.
Now, for you personally, I mean, what would your strategy be on this track? Tire strategy.
My tire strategy? I mean, I always prefer to be on the faster tire to start the race, because that's when everybody's bunched up, so it's the best time I find to be able to kind of try to make moves up the order, right? Or at least that's the way I think. I don't really trust as much in my ability on pace and overtake at the end of the race, so I always like to be on the fastest tire to start the race. And then once I get that position, then go on the harder, the medium tires, and just try to hold off for as long as I can.
Yeah, I'm not one of those guys that's one of the fastest. Obviously, I'm commentating and not racing. it's more of a strategy issue for me. I'm right there with you.
Oh yeah, so that's the thing. At the start of it's a lot easier to defend than it is to pass, as they like to say. So that's why I always prefer to get the positions as early as I possibly can. But looks like we've got some drivers that are going to be setting some. They're on their flying laps. It looks like a couple CRL drivers and a couple ISRL drivers looking to set their first times. So I'm excited to see what they have in store. That now that the times are going to be a bit more of a true reflection of what the drivers can do in terms of pace.
Yeah, we definitely are going to get a nice little window in on that. Q3 is going to be really interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah, and now with something that I know I mentioned it a little bit earlier, briefly, but with the size of the track, Spa is when we're talking about what the time left in Q2, the time that you get in qualifying 3. I would say there's not too much room for error. With
No.
given how big the track is. I don't know if you would agree with me on that or not, but when you make an error in the likes that Azen did, as we saw right at the end, where you're committed now, he has to go around again to go into the pits and then come out and then do another 2 laps basically. It doesn't set you in too good of a spot, but
No, it does not, and I would totally agree with you. That's one thing that makes this qualifying so different versus doing short quali, is you have to be really careful and still push as hard as you can. Because if you invalidate your lap, you're just killing time, just trying to get back, and you don't want to burn up your tires in the process as well.
oh no, as looks like we've got some drivers that have set some times. Top 3, looks like a wall of blue. Passassin sitting on provisional pole here in qualifying 2 with a 142.9, just barely under the 143s, but right behind him, Warrior with a 143.002. J-Dunk with a 143.2, and Iceman sitting at a 144.0. Infamous Pillars, the only ISRL driver to set a time so far, a 147.3, and given the pace we saw from him in qualifying 1, I don't think that's a true indicator of what he can do here in this second qualifying. I think
one thing I really wish they would actually continue to do is when you have your broadcast settings, they would actually stick. As I'm looking at, looks like a mostly medium tire field.
Yeah, lots of drivers on the medium tires, at least setting their initial laps on the medium tires. But with still 9 minutes to go, who knows? There might be a bit of another tire switch to the softs for the later stages of this qualifying session. And I'm riding with this.
And Infamous just got pushed down to P7 by Iceman pulling a 144.0. And I'm right there with you right now, bud. It seems like, as I'm watching Infamous go into the pits, I'm wondering if he's trying to hide something here.
Yeah, potentially just getting a bit of, maybe a bit of a banker lap in, or maybe he took a very bad line early on and just sort of put the lap in just for the sake of, having a time on the board. Stunek, I was watching him, he crossed the line. He set a 144, nearly a 144 flat. That puts him up into 6th, but he very soon after falls down to 7th.
With JJ Dog coming in at a 143.29.
Yep. Oh, that was J-Dog with the 143.2. Okay, yeah, on those medium tires that are 2 laps old now. So it looks like he's going a little bit longer on those medium tires, putting a little bit more use into them in qualifying. But it looks like, at least for the time being, that's come to a bit of his benefit, as he's up into 6th and looking, at least for the time being, poised to make it through into the top 10 shootout.
I'm kind of liking Carter's livery here. This is a design I have not seen yet. I think I might have to make me a red, white, and blue one of these. I say that. I believe J-Dunk has something similar running in blue, and he is in the pits. Let's check out Carter, as it looks like he just finished his out lap. Can he improve and make it into the top 10. We still got quite a bit of time.
Let's see. Yeah, looks like he's taken a decent line through through Aurouge and Radion, and sorry, down the Camel Straight now. But Spa's a long lap and
Ooh,
one mistake.
purple
But
sector 1.
yeah, so fast sector 1 for him. So right now poised to set a good time. But you know, sector 2 is very different than sector 1 and 3. So it's definitely, I feel, a make or break sector of the lap for a lot of drivers because it's a bit
Absolutely.
more. And there we go. He went a little bit wide through that downhill turn as well. Not what you're hoping to see, but it looks like he had a decent recovery now as he's coming through the, I guess, the bottom portion of the track when I'm looking at the mini map there. But still
a yellow sector ahead of him. Oh, okay. It looks like we may have had a passing going on.
Yeah, just some drivers on in laps or out laps, letting other drivers through. You love to see that, the courtesy of the drivers on track, and the awareness of knowing, okay, drivers coming up, they're coming up pretty fast, they're probably on a flying lap, let's not get in the way, let's just get out of the way, let them go, and then I can just go on my merry way. Everyone's happy, no complaints. You love to see it.
Oh, absolutely. It's about respect. We want and Carter moves himself up into P7.
143.423 on the medium tires too, so not a bad time. Wow. But still 140. Sorry, go on ahead.
Go for it. I'm sorry.
Oh, just saying, still Passassin's 142.998 is the time to beat. But we've got Sucron 19 is about to cross the line. There we go. It's a 142.1. As he shoots himself up into first on the medium tires, no less.
Infamous looked like he may have broke a little too late. Maybe didn't get to keep the rotation going through turn 1.
Turn 1. Oh, so not the start you're hoping for if you're Infamous Pillars. But we'll see how he does coming through the rest of the lap. It looks like he's getting a little bit of help from his teammate there.
Yes, he is.
Getting some tow down the Camel Straight, so that'll definitely potentially make up a little bit of time that was potentially lost in that first turn for him.
After what we saw in Q1, I'm kind of wondering where he's showing up at. He's got pretty good potential to to move up quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely some potential. He's just gonna have to keep it clean around the lap. I'm seeing FIFA Beefies coming around the last few turns there for guys in blue as well. So we'll see what kind of time he sets.
Oh, Beefy just moves up to P7.
Up into 7th, so not a bad time with the 143.2. I was able to switch back to Infamous Pillars just in time to see him set a purple sector 2. So definitely faster than that 147.3 he has on the board. But as he's coming to the bus stop chicane, we'll soon find out what kind of time it's going to be. And with 3.5 minutes to go in qualifying, it might have to be a bit of a make or break time for him.
And there we go. Himself into P2.
Up into 2nd with a 142.6.
Right now it looks like we've got 2 CRLs.
And Sophion with a 142.3, albeit on the soft tires rather than the medium tires of the likes of Sweet Crown, Infamous Pillars, and it looks like a few of the other drivers as well when I'm looking at their best time. Yeah, Warriors and some of the other drivers on the medium tires, but still a decent time. And now with 3 minutes to go, it's a 1-2-3 ISRL with 4 through 10 looking to be the CRL drivers for the time being.
Yeah, it looks like we're pretty split as far as the bottom P10 through P15. It's 3 CRLs. I'm sorry, 3 ISRLs out and 2 CRLs. We'll have to see. It looks like we get Equas coming out on a outlap. It looks like Carter is on an outlap.
Yep, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the likes of Carter, Equas, Stunik, Iceman, and Azen all come out on some laps, and even probably some drivers that are close to the bubble. I'm thinking J-Dog, FIFA, J-Dunk, probably even Bambino, I would think, that are probably going to come out again in these later stages of second qualifying to try and improve on their time, because nobody wants to be left in those positions through 11 to 15 and not being able to go and do your qualifying 3 session.
Oh, Aizen just retired from the session. Did we see what happened there?
I didn't quite get to see what happened with the likes of Aizen retiring. I'm not 100% sure if it was internet issues. I'm going to keep an eye potentially on the stream just to see if anybody has a little bit of information from the pit wall of what happened to Aizen. But that's not what you'd like to see here with a minute and 20 left to go in qualifying 2. And from what we can see here, no time on the board.
Stunek seems like he's trying to warm up his tires up on this outlap. And to see what he can pull off coming up. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where everybody is at the moment.
Yeah, but it looks like some drivers, a lot of them are coming through Sector 3, maybe potentially starting a flying lap or finishing a flying lap.
As we see, Iceman just finished his, so he's going to be trying to better himself to get up into the top 10 spots. He is one of those drivers that can sneak up from behind you pretty easily and be in the back and get to the front pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Who it is that he's catching a toe off of. I see red. Nope, it's blue. He's got Mr. Dunk in front of him, J Dunk.
There you go.
So a little toe from him.
Yeah, that'll definitely help him out.
A little teamwork.
Yeah,
yep.
Some teamwork never hurt, especially in qualifying when every thousandth of a second counts. When you get right down to it, and getting that toe down the Kebble straight, one of the fastest portions of the track, is definitely gonna come in handy for the time. As that's FIFA Beefy retiring from the session. Potentially looking like he's satisfied with his 143.2. See, I'm currently riding with ISRL Carter. He's in 11th, so currently not poised to make it through into qualifying 3, but he's on a decent lap so far.
We got a purple sector 2 from Iceman.
Oh, definitely
running along with him.
That's looking nice. Carter with a purple sector
who just
2.
Moved up? Equus.
Oh, Equus! Wow. Yeah, up into P4 now with that 142.7 on the soft tires. So we're gonna start seeing probably some of the faster times drop now. So I expect this board to change at least a little bit as we're now through the end of qualifying. And there we go.
P5.
Yeah, wow, up into 5th. Great lap by him. Carter up into 2nd with a 142.3.
There you go.
Let's take a look. The times are definitely falling now. And that's a Stunek up into 6th with a 142.7. So it looks like
that blue.
Yeah, so we're breaking up that blue. And it looks like, at least for qualifying 2, other than Aizen, who it looks like potentially had some connection issues.
Oh, unfortunate.
Which is very unfortunate for him. It's a 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, but it looks like there's still potentially some drivers that need to set some times. Oh no, going into the pits. So I think now we've actually come to the end of qualifying 2. And it's been exciting so far, and as we're going to go into qualifying 3, you know, that's where things really kick off, I feel, because we're going to start seeing the true pace. And I think things are going to get a little bit hectic down when we get down to the wire of qualifying 3.
And you know, I really wonder at this point if our tire strategy choice here looks like most folks are on 1-lap softs. That's going to come into some major play come race time.
Oh yeah, no, I'm actually looking at the. Oh, sorry, go on ahead.
No, go for it, bud. You're good.
Oh, okay. I was just saying. I was looking at the best when I was looking at the details, or the best tire or the best time tire thing Either way, to say it looks like Sweet Crown 19, Infamous Pillars, and it looks like that was a Warrior are the only 3 drivers who set their best times on the medium tires. So they might have an advantage, the 3 of them going into the race compared to everybody else who's on the softs, because they can go potentially for much longer than a lot of these other drivers that are making it through into this top 10 shootout that we are just awaiting to load into.
What I am just now finding out from one of our drivers is the track is cold.
Oh,
at
really?
An average of 78 to 80 degrees, so that might be why they all switched to softs. As we look at, well, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 folks on mediums. So maybe the soft tire strategy is working out because the track is cold.
Oh yeah, and especially with the track is cold, potentially with the evolution as well, keeping those soft tires to the end. But definitely the cold track, the medium tires, it's a lot harder to get into that operating temperature compared to the likes of the softs.
It can be really interesting. Sweet Crown with holding P1 down on mediums right now.
Yeah. Like I said, like I had mentioned, he's definitely one of our fastest drivers we have here in ISRL. So I do have to give a bit of a shout out to him on the stream. He is leading the championship so far in Tier 1, no less. So definitely expect him to turn it to another level here come qualifying 3. And even Infamous Pillars, we saw he had some hidden, some hidden pace. And here in qualifying 3, I'm sure he's going to try to break it out.
2 drivers.
Oh yeah, we got 2 drivers coming out here.
And we got Sweet Crown. Just got another message through our stream. Mediums are right there, he's saying. So I'm not too sure. With softs being the tire of choice. As we sit here and watch how things are fixing to get heated up, even though the track might be cold, this is the time that the pressure is going to be on.
Oh yeah, the track potentially is at its coldest, but temperatures in the cockpit are probably going to be at their hottest here in qualifying 3. Okay, that was bad. I know it's bad. It's fine. Let's just move on from it.
I didn't hear nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
But no, with 12 minutes to go, probably only going to see 2 true laps from a lot of these drivers, I would think, especially with, as I said, Spa-Francorchamps being the size of a circuit, nearly 7 miles, I think it is. So lots of time to go around the track, so not too much time to set some good laps. So definitely going to have to keep it clean. And have that pace ready for qualifying 3.
This is going to be the one that actually lines our grid up. It's going to be quite interesting to see.
Oh yeah.
As you say, you think you believe it's 7 miles long. Is that right?
Yeah, I thought it was right around 7 miles long, maybe a little bit more than that.
Okay, I'm trying to look that up because you've actually got my curiosity piqued. Because I do know it is one of the longest tracks as far as the schedule goes. But that is one thing I do not know.
Yeah, so let me know when you find out, as we're riding with some of the drivers that are looking to set their flying laps now. The likes of Assassin and Sweet Crown 19 and Warrior now all starting their flying laps, and more are going to follow suit. So let's see what the first set of times are going to look like.
So it's 308.052 kilometers, which, yeah, at 7.004 kilometers. Well, circuit length is 7.004 kilometers. Which
okay, kilometers. Oops, I got the unit of measurement wrong.
Let me see this real quick. Yeah, they say technology is great for things. I don't know about that.
Yeah, when it wants to work, it's great. When it doesn't want to work, it is horrible. That's my bit on that. But nothing gets me more angry than not working technology. Fun fact about me.
So 7 kilometers is 4.35 miles.
4.35 miles, yeah. I mean, I got the
That's still a
7
pretty
right.
long track.
Oh yeah, still pretty long. I got the 7 right. For some reason, I should have known it was kilometers. I'm Canadian, for crying out loud. I use kilometers.
Oh man.
I gave it a
North of
bit.
the wall there, bud.
Yep, I gave Spa a bit more credit than it was due, I guess. As Assassin sets a 143.094, nearly a 143 flat. Sweet Crown 19 crosses the line shortly after, setting a 141.3. So already breaking into the 141s here in third qualifying, as the Warrior sets a 142.4, up in provisional P2 so far. But more and more drivers are going to be setting their times fairly soon, I would think.
Yep, Iceman's about to follow it up and come across the line himself. Let's see what he's fixing to do.
Yep, looking very fast in qualifying 2. What's it going to be as he crosses the line? 143, 143.2. Good enough for P4 out of 4 drivers so far, but there's still lots of time to set another lap and improve on that, I would think, but still a decent lap as well, in the low 143s.
So we've got Infamous. Looks like he is on his hot lap right now.
Yeah, we've got Infamous starting his hot lap, going down the Camel straight, a purple first sector, so looking fast so far. And I think we had a Stunek and Carter that were kind of helping each other out, it looks like, on track, sticking close to one another for that toe.
Sadly, a Stunek as a invalidated lap time.
Yep, you took the words right out of my mouth there. So not what a Stunek was hoping for in qualifying 3. But luckily for Carter, who was in front of him, his lap time is still looking good. And I saw purple sector 2 for him. So this might be a pretty quick lap from Carter as he's coming up to the bus stop chicane now. So 141.3 is the time to beat. When he crosses the line, what's it going to be? It's a 142.4. So barely inches out Warrior's time of a 142.423 by 2/100ths of a second. It looks like even less than that.
Infamous invalidated his lap. I didn't exactly see where.
Oh, neither did I, but I just switched over to him, but he's
in the pits.
Yep, very quickly going to jump into the pits there. No point in going around again and wasting those tires, wear that much more, and wasting the time, which is even more important. Somebody else set a time. Was that Equaz, I think, with a 142.7, so up into 4th, if I'm seeing that right. Yeah, that was Equaz.
This is pretty nice to see. It looks like we're pretty divided in the top 10. It's our top 5 and y'all's top 5 right now.
Yeah, it looks
not like heavily outweighed.
Yeah, so pretty evenly matched so far here from what we're seeing here in qualifying 3. But still, at least here in this mini tournament of this qualifying 3 session, there's still 4 drivers who have yet to set a time, so we have yet to see where they stand in the likes of the rest of the 6 drivers who have set times yet.
Just kind of interesting. I'm wondering if they haven't set times. Like we saw a Stunek, he was invalidated his lap. Infamous invalidated. I did not see what happened with Sophian.
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 Yeah, Sophian, as I call him on stream.
There you go.
But I think he invalidated as well from what I saw. But they're still in the pits, and I think they're potentially timing when they want to go out. Potentially looking at helping one another in the form of that toe, and potentially even waiting a little bit more for the sake of that track evolution, so they can be on track at the quickest possible time. But with 4 minutes to go in qualifying, it's really now's your chance or bust. As Big Bambino, he set a purple sector 1, so it looks like he's on a pretty good time so far. Currently in 7th, but has yet to put a time on the board.
I just got an interesting photo through our Discord.
Oh, did ya?
Yeah, Warriors doesn't have a car. He's got a shadow and tires.
Oh,
Gotta love
interesting.
Cody's. Yeah, very interesting.
Yep, gotta love those graphical glitch when they come. When it's during something a little bit more casual, like career mode or whatnot, it's a little bit better. But in this
Bambino's.
high stakes environment,
You can't. Yeah, you definitely don't want that. Much
oh no.
like I'm gonna get his name wrong. Jar. I kind of want to call him Jar Jar Binks. Um, he had several connection issues. Didn't even make it past Q3 or Q1. Poor guy.
Jer had some connection issues. Hopefully he can get those hopefully this has all been resolved in time for the race. So that we can see what Jer has to offer. But Big Bambino
Has
up into second with a
P2.
142 flat nearly. When I'm looking, we've got Sophion coming out on his outlap now, just getting
Yep.
those tires warmed up. So do or die situation for him, as Big Bambino happy with his 142 flat nearly, and retires from qualifying. So we'll see if that P2 is going to hold up, as more and more drivers coming out on their outlaps now.
Infamous on his way out. Looks like
Yeah.
our P8 through P10 ISRL guys are trying to time it just right.
Yep, definitely looks like it. I'm seeing, I believe it is a Stunik and Infamous Pillars out there together down the Keble Strait. So potentially a bit of teamwork amongst the two of them for their flying laps.
Stunik's pulling over for Infamous. I guess Infamous was behind him. So that means it would have been, I'm going to butcher his name, Sophian was in front of Stunik.
Yeah, but Sophion's out there in coming near in sector 3 now, going through this back portion, very quick back section of the track before coming up to the bus stop chicane. Carter, he's starting a lap himself, looking to improve on his 142.408. So as he's going down Eau Rouge, I'm excited to see what he can do and what he can bring to the table in these dying stages of qualifying here.
Looks like most of our CRL guys are assassins in the pits. Warriors is on an outlap. Equa's on an outlap. And so is Iceman. So it's equally a fight between... Oh no, Iceman's got an invalidated lap time.
Oh, that's not what you want to have happen this late in qualifying 3. Was that at
Especially when you
the
got
near
three
the...
guys in the back.
Oh yeah, was that near the end of the lap, or was that right at the beginning of it?
I wasn't sure. I just kind of flipped on over to him and noticed he had a invalidated lap time.
Oh, okay. No, so definitely not what you want to have. But if that's Iceman, he's on an out lap, so he can. He's got some time now. Just barely if he crosses the line on time. It looks like he did.
Yep, there he is.
Yep, now he can go for real and set a true time. It's the times are gonna fall now. So it looks like every driver other than Passassin is out on track looking to set a flying lap. Who's going to be coming around first? It looks like that's Carter, who invalidated somewhere along the way. So he's going to have to settle for his 142.408. I just quickly switched up to Sweet Crown 19, who he just set a purple sector 1, so I'll have to keep an eye on him. Warrior, he invalidates, so not what he was hoping to see. Equa still on a good lap, but I'm looking for this, who is this? That's Sophion on a good lap as well, has yet to set a time, so what's it going to be as he's coming through the bus stop chicane, and that's a really nice red and blue livery he's got there. I really, honestly, I really like the livery as he crosses the line, a 142.078, good enough for second. But now, who's this? Was that? Oh, that's Warriors. No, that's Equaz, who's got a tow from Warriors right at the end of his lap there. Comes around the bus stop chicane himself. What's he gonna do? Crosses the line. It's looks like a 142.5 is his best time. So staying in 6th for the time being, as more drivers as Stune crosses the line, a 142.7. good enough for 7th, and Infamous Pillars actually doesn't put a time on the board, down there in 10th.
I'm actually kind of curious about Sweet. He has P1 pretty much locked down, and yet he still continued to decide to use his tires. Are you familiar with him as a driver? I mean, is he usually this aggressive?
Oh yeah, he's definitely an aggressive driver. He likes to flex the muscles a little bit, and he is very good with his tire management as well. And I'm sure that's something we'll see from him in the race. So he doesn't really worry as much as some of the other drivers about the tire wear, and especially in qualifying 3, where you can give away one of the you get that free set of tires at the very least. So, I mean, if it's one set of tires that he loses out on, I think for him it's not the end of the world.
All right. Let's check out this top 10 grid.
Yeah, so I can. Do you want me to take us down the order, or do you want? All right. So we have Sweet Car 19 starting on pole position. A 141.045 was the fastest time. Sophion in second, and then we have Big Bambino in third. Iceman in fourth for the CRL guys. Carter in fifth. Warrior in 6th, Equaz right behind him in 7th, Astunik in 8th, Passassin in 9th, and Infamous Pillars rounds out the top 10. Lots of close times, it looks like, from P2 all the way down to P9, it seemed. So it's going to be exciting to see what that's going to translate to come the race.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be so much a sea of blue anymore.
No, it's a bit of a mixed grid, and now that we're going to see the full grid now in action for the first time, and something we haven't really spoken too much about, and I might get a little bit of insight on this as well. It's looking a little bit cloudy. Do you think we're going to see some rain? Oh, it looks like.
I don't know, man. It's a little iffy. Yeah, that's one thing that we have not been informed on.
Well, actually, word from the pit wall is that we might see some rain pick up near the end of the race.
Oh, that could make it even more interesting.
Yeah. So we might see some potential strategies in play with this possibility of rain. Of course, what the pit wall is saying, whether or not it actually happens, is a completely different story.
That's a fact. I know that our last league race, we weren't expected to have rain until the start of the race. We did Q3 to Q1 in the rain. All right, we're lining up for the formation lap.
Yep, it'll be a bit of a long formation lap, I do have to say. Given it's around Spa, but it'll give me a time, or I don't know about your end, but I'm gonna just go down the grid a little bit and admire some of these paint jobs that the drivers have put a little bit of time in for the race. So let's give them some love on the formation lap. So, yeah, Sophion I really like. Big Bambino, it's a nice blue and green he's got there.
Fortunately, my broadcast camera is not working out to my favor to check out these liveries.
Oh no, neither is mine. Oh, now I get the helicopter cam. Oh, there we go. I mean, Carter looks like a nice old livery he's got there, with the red and white. Iceman I really like too, with the blue and white he's got going on there.
Give a shout out to Passassin for wearing my jersey number there.
Hey, there you go. Gotta repping the number. Warriors I like with that blue and red. A nice mean looking car from what I see. Equaz with the powder blue and a little bit of some dark blue in there too. Looking nice. A Stunik with the.
It is pretty nice to see that we're pretty much split in the top 10.
Oh yeah. It's a bit of
we start kind of breaking off a little bit. It looks like Azen and Knight are going to have quite the battle fighting through the blue.
Oh yeah.
Stig's going to have to fight through some red, and going to be sadly on his lonesome back there, as he is surrounded by red.
Yeah, so that's the thing for Stig. He's gonna have a bit of work to do. He's surrounded by a sea of red at the back of the grid. But for the likes of Aizen and Knight, having to climb through this wall of blue might be a little bit difficult. But I think it'll really depend on what kind of start these drivers get, because it can really make or break your race, especially on this track where it's pretty integral to be in a favorable position when you go down the likes of Eau Rouge, Radion, and the Kebble Straight, because it's one of the fastest portions of the track, if not the fastest area of the track.
I am really digging on J Dunk's livery there. All right, boys, here we go. You want to give the lights out and away we go when it comes to that time?
Yeah, I can do the lights out and away we go. As the drivers are just lining up to the grid, we're seeing the back of the order there. Jumping up to the front, we're up to 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. These aren't the actual lights, as we can definitely see, as I will get the actual lights here too. Up to 3, 4 now, and 5 lights for real. And we're off now. It looks like, yep, the stream is there. And it looks like it's a pretty good start from the likes of CRL 19. Big Bambino up into second. There's some contact up at the front with the top 5. I think that's Sophion going wide. And oh my goodness, what is that going on in the back?
Did I just see a car go in the air?
Yeah, I saw a car going in the air. What happened there? Is that's Passassin. Not what he wanted here on lap 1, as he's all the way down into 20th, and I think he got the worst of that incident of the car going up in the air there. And oh, I see. What's happening here? That's Knight.
Involved some carnage.
Yep, and that's Knight that's facing the wrong way with a broken front wing. Not what we want to see, as he's down into 20th now. And oh my goodness, so hectic carnage going on here, and we have a safety car already here on lap 1. So at least for drivers that were caught up in the carnage, there's some, there's a little bit of a breathing room now to be able to get back around the track, get into the pits, take that longer pit stop, and catch up to the back of the grid again and start fighting once we go green.
So I'm sitting here trying to see who might have wing damage. I'm not seeing much in the top 10. I think I just saw somebody have some wing damage. I couldn't see who it was.
Yeah, I'm taking a look. At least the top 2 of the CRL 19 and Carter, they got away fairly clean. Top 3's looking good. That's Equaz. Big Bambino, if I can get a better angle, that would be much better with this. But it looks like Big Bambino has a little bit of end plate damage. So he was caught up in at least some form of an incident. Iceman's looking fine. Warriors is looking fine.
I didn't see much damage from many folks.
Infamous Pillars.
I really wish that Codemasters would kind of add that in for us spectators, as it appears though we got several people going into the pits right now.
Yeah, multiple drivers going into the pits with this early safety car, potentially getting off those initial tires.
Stacking. Oh no! I couldn't see what team was double stacked. I know that one ISRL guy was involved. I don't know if it was 2. It looks like poor JJ Dunk was caught in the damage. Let's see what kind of tires we're starting to run with here now.
Yeah, it looks like everybody went on either the medium tires, or in the case of J-Dunk and Gnarly, the hard tires. So I think it was exactly that. Drivers who set their times on the soft tires, or who had those used tires, just opting to pit early on, get on that fresh set of tires, and now potentially even out a little bit to the likes of everybody who started in the bottom 10. Who looks like they're all on those fresh set of medium tires, but we have Warrior up in the lead, followed by J-Dog and FIFA Beefy. So for the time being, on lap 2 under the safety car, it's a 1-2-3 for CRL.
And it's quite interesting to see Gnarly, 2 CRL guys, Gnarly and J-Dunk are on hards. It'd be quite interesting to see what kind of, how this plays for them. Personally, I don't like hards. It's like driving on ice, no matter whether you're on the fresh hards or the old hards. I don't like them.
I mean, I don't mind using them, but if I can avoid them, I'd rather be on the medium tires. But sometimes with the strategy, it's potentially the smarter option to get on the hards, just to go that extra time longer. With the rain coming up, it might not be crazy to think you just ride the hards all the way to what could potentially be time for intermediates.
Yep. We'll have to see what the weather does from here on out.
Yeah, it'll definitely make things interesting.
We're still pretty mixed up, half and half, I believe. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. It looks like ISRL has 6 drivers in the top 10, and CRL has 4.
Yep. Yeah, so it looks like ISRL in form of top 10, looking a little bit more stacked. But I'm seeing a lot of CRL drivers from 11th to 15th, just waiting for the safety car to go in, for the flags to go green and potentially take advantage. So the ISRL boys are definitely going to have to stay on their toes come the restart, which won't be for at least another lap. But I'd like to point out Jer, who started from the back of the grid. I think he got some of his internet issues sorted out with up into 4th after the first lap. So made a lot of the pit stops definitely helped, but he made up a lot of time early on. So is definitely going to be a driver to watch out for, at least on the red team side, I would say, once the flags go green and we're off racing again.
Looks like from P9 all the way down to P20, they're all on fresh tires. So this could get interesting once we get 12 laps in after the safety car goes in. So we'd be at what, lap 15 by the time we start seeing some more pits. Which then ISRL could take a pretty good lead of P1 and P2.
Oh yeah, and that's well, that's all assuming that there's no other incidents that could potentially happen. I mean, it's also why we raced the race, because you never know what could happen. I've seen some craziness in the races before, and where the stakes are as high as they are today, I would not be surprised if there's some craziness, or I guess I could say some even more craziness as the race goes on.
It's nuts how much pride can overrule any money put on the table.
Oh yeah, and this is especially when you're you're not just repping yourself, you're repping the team that you race for. There's that extra level of intensity. But
a little bit more stress. Like I was saying, this is a little bit different than just doing a league race, you know? It's got to feel a little bit more relaxed in a league race. But when you know you're one of 10 drivers to rep your league, the heat gets turned on.
Oh, definitely does.
Into a crab being thrown into boiling water.
Oh yeah, and looks like a safety car is coming in this lap, so we're going to see some racing by lap 4, as we already see Warrior becoming the de facto safety car, and letting the safety car just waltz its way into the pits so we can get a nice clean restart. So now it's a matter of when is he going to decide to crank up the pace and get that restart done.
I'm sitting here following along with JJ Dog, seeing if we can get a nice little insight into that.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
He's gonna.
Oh, there we go.
Get through this chicane here.
Yeah, it looked like he picked it up right as he was going into the chicane. I mean, caught myself off guard, but it looks like the likes of J-Dog was still on point. FIFA Beefy a little bit behind, but Jer's right behind him, it looks like, yes, as we're just starting up back into racing. But Warrior took the restart perfectly, still up into first, and the top 3 remain unchanged.
And Orions is just gaining distance on these guys. Looks like Yar is just trying to catch up to Beefy here.
Oh, and that's Aizen.
No, Aizen retired. Oh no.
Oh no, so I'm not too sure what happened. Actually an incident from Aizen on Eau Rouge, from what I can see on the mini-map. It looks like that's where the car is parked. So not what we're hoping to see, at least for ISRL and Aizen. So on lap 4, that's his race over just like that, as a potential incident into Eau Rouge.
And it's kind of crazy to see that we're not getting another yellow flag or... Oh, safety car. JJ Dog just spun.
Oh, yeah, that's a yellow flag in
Moving
sector
Yar
2.
up into 3.
Yep, so not what you're hoping for with JJ Dogs. He's fallen down the orders. He has to get back on... Yep, and there we go. He's back on track, it looks like. Although it down into 16th, and potentially a little bit of extra heated tires as well to go with it. So not what he was hoping for, but there's still lots of race to go, so loads of time to catch back up, I would say, and potentially still fight for a top 10, for a podium, for a win. We'll have to see. But
Yar is right here up on the gearbox of Beefy, just trying to make some time up. Oh, and he sets the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, Jer sets the fastest lap as he's putting pressure on FIFA Beefy, as you mentioned, looking to close the gap even to Warriors after that. But, I mean, still going to have to get past FIFA, and I'm sure FIFA is going to be a very tough customer to overtake. But we'll see what happens with this battle. And I'm also keeping a very close eye on... Stig and Crown 19 as well, as that's another battle that's probably going to happen very soon, right behind the one we're watching right now on the stream on our end here.
Looks like P15 to P18 is going to be pretty interesting back here with JJ Dog, Gnarly, and Infamous.
Yep, and
Infamous stuck between some blues.
Yeah, Infamous stuck between some blues. Gonna have to work his way back up. Jared tried to make a nice move down the inside. Didn't quite work out. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
It looked like Infamous was about to try to make a pass and try to take the inside line. It just did not happen for him.
No, so it looks like the CRL driver's doing a good job defending so far from what I'm seeing. I'm gonna jump back to this battle.
We just had somebody spin.
Oh no, not what we're hoping for.
Again.
Yeah. Gnarly on the hard tires, so potentially having some difficulty getting the heat into the tires early on. Part of the reason why they're not really a favorable tire to use, because it's just so hard to get them warm.
We are not seeing a whole lot of separation in between drivers. Oh, and we have Iceman working on making a pass on Joseph. Joseph gonna allow switcheroo.
Yeah, a little bit of a no, but looks like Joseph is holding on to that 10th spot, at least for the time being. But on his toes, knowing Iceman is right behind him and just waiting to take that spot from him.
As the pit window opens for our top 5 that are sitting on the 5-lap.
Yep, and Crown 19 and Stig, they're actually battling it out. They're side by side, going down
no, there's a little bit
the
of
Camel
contact.
Straight.
No one spun, and Iceman gets it done on Joseph right after a Rouge. Moving himself up into P10.
Up into 10th for Iceman. Cozy down into 11th. So we'll see if he can... We'll see if he's gonna fight back. It looks like for the time being he's just gonna hold off and potentially cool the engine, cool the tires. But he's also got to watch out for Assassin.
Much longer. Yep. Yeah, it looks like he backed squirrely right there. Assassin is gonna stay on his gearbox, maybe sit here and wait for a mistake.
Yeah, but I mean he's got to watch out because Sophion, right as I'm mentioning his name, tries something down the outside, which turns into the inside. They're side by side now. And Knight, seeing a bit of an opening as well. Is it going to be a double move?
No,
it's very close. No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. And Knight
kind of kept it together. Well done, sir.
Yep, thankfully he didn't lose the car too hard there. He's able to keep it on track and continue on his way, but just lost out on a little bit of time there. With that,
trying to make it through some red right here. With Sophion and who's this? Joseph.
Oh, and there's a yellow flag in Sector 3. I'm not too sure what happened there. It looks like there's a lot of movement. But Crown 19, as I saw on the stream, just made a move up into 4th on Stig. So he's going to try to catch up to that top 3. As now I just see Jer making a move on FIFA Beefy. And I just noticed the both of them actually caught right back up to Warrior. Who just a few laps ago, Warrior had almost a nice 2 to 3 second gap. That's now down to half a second. Oh, but
and we just lost Yar. Or
yep,
Jar.
yeah,
Jar.
Jer, unfortunately some connection issues. That's going to slow his car right down. So right as the battle was getting interesting, unfortunately he's going to, we're going to lose out on a little bit there. So Warriors and FIFA Beefy can breathe a little bit easier now, knowing the closest competitor is running into some potential connection issues.
And Stig moved himself up into P5 after being in the sea of red.
Yep.
See if he can move himself up some better.
Yeah, let's take a look. As I saw, Jer had just reconnected, but Sweetcar 19 had just gotten past him as well. So potentially a new challenger approaches for the likes of FIFA Beefy and Warriors from the ISRL side, as the pole sitter for qualifying Sweetcar 19 is finally into the mix for ISRL. So we'll see how this is going to play out here on lap 8.
You said Jer is oh, there he is. All right. I just now got him unghosted.
Okay,
as
perfect.
He actually has Stig right up on his gearbox trying to get that P4.
Yeah, so he's going to have to just get back into the car and get back into the groove very quickly if he wants to any chance of holding on to this 4th spot. But and there we go. Oh my goodness, Jer goes way wide.
Takes it.
And yeah, Stig takes the position fairly easily, it looks like, as no, Jer unfortunately leaves the session again.
Wow.
So hasn't really been able to sort out those connection issues, unfortunately. As Sweetcar 19 thought about making a move down the inside on FIFA, but realized probably wasn't the time or the place to do that, and sits behind back in 3rd for the time being. I noticed, I think that was Knight that just passed Passassin not too long ago, but I'm looking for some potential battles on the on track, but it looks like this battle here for P2, as Sweetcar trying down the outside once again doesn't work out. So good defending job from FIFA there. Sweetcar 19 just is not able to get past him here on lap 8.
Oh, Passassin we had contact between, I didn't see who it was. I think it was Passassin and maybe Knight.
Oh, I'm not too sure. I didn't quite get to see it because I was watching the this battle here for 3rd with the likes of Sweetcar 19 and FIFA Beefy, but I guess that's Passassin down into 18th. Not what we're hoping for. Hopefully there was no contact, but like I said, I didn't quite get to see it, so I can't really say too much on that.
All right, now we got J-Dunk coming up on Joseph, trying to make a pass on the outside, and it looks like he's trying to hold it down. He's got some red he's got to get through here. And he could not make it. Trying to better his P15. He's got quite the bit of red in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like it. From 10th to 14th.
Teamwork is going to come into play.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Astunik is stuck there right in the middle for the red team. But that might have a bit of an effect. But if you're J-Dunk and J-Dog, you're gonna have a lot of work to do, as you've got it looks like 5 different red drivers to get past and work your way back up the grid. But it looks like Sophion had just made a move on Iceman, so Sophion up into 9th.
Oh! Joseph got a little squirrely little front contact on Dunk here.
Yeah, it looks like it. And
Dunk is taking the inside line.
Yeah.
It looks like those tires of his might be starting to finally wear out.
Yeah.
Joseph, that is.
Yeah, I think
right
when
the pass.
Oh, and Joseph spun. Oh no. So
no.
I don't think there was contact. I think Joseph just ran the curb just a little bit too much. Lost grip of the car, and unfortunately for Joseph, he's all the way down into 18th now. With some very overheated tires now after that spin. So not what he was hoping for, as that very easily promotes J-Dunk and J-Dog up into 14th and 15th respectively.
And here we have Equas trying to make his pass on, I'm going to butcher his name again. I've done it each time.
Jer?
Jer.
We'll see. I lost out on my time.
Both of them have DRS.
They both have DRS, so potentially not too much of an advantage either way.
What a race we are witnessing here. There's not much of a difference.
Yep, not much.
Times.
Oh no, and we've got a pass
Sweet
for the
Crown
lead.
Makes a pass.
Sweet Crown 19. The pole time setter just passed Warriors down the Kebble Straight with the help of DRS, and he's up into first place now here on lap 10. But there's still half the race to go so far, so still lots of racing left here to see.
Warriors on the older tire, I'm kind of wondering who's going to pit when. Is he going to hold out for Sweet and try to hold it, or is he going to try to pit early? And what is he going to go to next? Because at this point, I don't know if I would even attempt to try to pull off softs.
No, well that's the I don't know if the softs would be a good option now with because there's still 12 laps to go. So at least for the time being, you might want to hold off on those medium tires and potentially wait and see what happens in terms of the rain as well. That looks like the cloud cover's starting to grow a little bit from what I can see here on the screen. So we might start seeing some rain sooner rather than later, potentially 5 minutes or so from what I'm getting here from the pit wall before we start seeing some rain on track.
What a race we are dealing with here.
Yeah, very exciting. I'm watching actually Big Bambino here as he's trying to close up to Carter, but he's got Jer right behind him, and I'm not seeing the car ghosted, so it can I think it might actually be the Jer in the cockpit there. Bumps off the curb a little bit going up Eau Rouge, so might lose out on a little bit of time.
Ooh, and the grass.
Yeah, and the grass as well for good measure. But actually right behind, I just noticed Equaz and Sophion, as now they're going side by side, and Sophion with the help of DRS promotes himself up into 8th, and that drops Equaz down to 9th. But it seems like that Eau Rouge going down the Kemmel Straight, it's a very popular overtaking spot. I'm not very surprised by that. But it seems like that's where we've seen just about all the overtakes so far here in the race. Nope. Hang on, are we at the point now? Yes, we are at the point now where there is rain on track. I'm up on the onboard here of, actually a Sophion, and I'm seeing some rain on the screen, so we might see this race turned on its head. Because now it's a matter of how long the rain stays for and how hard the rain is going to fall. But here at lap 11 out of 22, there's still lots of race left and anything can happen. So if you're watching from home, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
This could definitely make things a lot more interesting. Depends on who is used to driving on a semi-damp track versus who's not able to. And it looks like the penalties are starting to rain in, much like the weather.
Yeah, definitely something I was probably expecting to see with those penalty times popping up over the course of the race. But we'll have to see how that'll play in effect come the actual end of the race here, because I'm not too sure who got some, how many they've gotten. But it's definitely a bit of a wild card as we're coming. I guess I wouldn't say slowly but surely, but we're coming up to the finishing of the race, and that's Joseph Cozy taking a gamble, putting on those intermediate tires very early.
Already, wow.
So I think it's potentially a little bit too early, but he did have that spin early on, earlier in the race, so potentially not too much to lose on this. And if the rain does pick up more than the drivers like to think they would, it could potentially be a race-saving move. So, I mean, if I'm in his shoes down near the bottom of the order anyways, I might be more willing to take that gamble. Just, I've got nothing to lose but everything to gain type deal.
Yep. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen come end of the race when it comes to these penalties. And I'm just seeing the penalties come along. Big Bambino is trying to block
Yeah, trying to hold
Jared.
off Jer.
Yeah.
It's a nice little battle that I've actually been monitoring as well. But even Infamous Pillars looks like he just passed Iceman elsewhere on the track. They're going side by side still a little bit, but it looks like Infamous Pillars just barely ekes out that blue and white car of Iceman. Nice, very representative. The car with the name. I like the touch there. I do have to say.
We harassed him about that. We tried to call him Kimmy for a while. He didn't like it.
No, I didn't like it. Oh well, I mean, I think it's a compliment if you're being called Kimmy. If I'm being honest, as it looks like
I
Jer.
wouldn't argue that either.
Oh no, but it looks like Jer was able to get past Big Bambino this time around on lap 13, up into 6th. But Big Bambino not really giving too much room to breathe. It looks like, at least from what I can see from the gap. So probably just gonna take that quick breather and put on those attacking goggles on and try to get that spot right back.
It looks like Warriors is starting to fall back from Sweet. Sweet's got the newer tires. We got Warriors and Beefy on and Black Stig on 12-lap-old mediums.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Sweet Crown's doing sort of what he does in what we see him do a lot in the league races.
Oh no, we
as
had a
well.
little bit of contact between Beefy and Warriors.
Oh, that's not
Ouch.
what you want to. That's not what you want to have. Especially amongst teammates as well. It's all nice to battle it out, but sometimes, especially in this team game, there's that extra little element as well to take into account, that you don't want to hinder a teammate's race because of a battle on track.
No, it was just the slightest of bumps. It was kind of like misjudging your braking point, or the braking point.
Oh, okay. So just a tiny little bit of contact, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, no, nothing too nuts. As they've got Carter right behind him. Warren is leading the, FIFA's leading the attempt of keeping podium with
leading the charge. It looks like
in third, and Stig trying to defend and make sure that Carter does not get past. And Carter just got himself a 3-second penalty.
Yep. So 3-second time penalty for Carter. So not what he was hoping for. Not what he's hoping to see. But I'm actually noticing a few more drivers going on those intermediate tires. It's actually Iceman and J-Dunk. As they came out of the pits, they're giving those intermediate tires a shot. I think it's maybe now a lap later. I still think it's a little bit too early for them, at least when I'm looking at the onboard and what I can see in terms of the track conditions. But of course, the drivers have a better feel of the track and the car compared to myself here in the commentators booth. So I do trust their judgment at least a little bit on this. But it doesn't look like it's working out too much for Joseph Cozy. So I don't think it's going to work out too much for Iceman and J-Dunk either for the time being.
This has definitely stayed a interesting race. No one's running away with it. Well, I say that. Sweet's running away with it right now. But the rest of the grid seems to be keeping pretty close.
Yeah, it's really staying very close. Yep, and Stig actually working his way up the grid, actually overtaking FIFA Beefy, as FIFA Beefy, he's opting to go into the pits. And it looks like
going in for those inners. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not too sure who that was. And that was Warriors going in as well with them. So now it's Sweet Car 19 up in first, Stig in second, and Jer up in third, Big Bambino in fourth. So it's a bit of a barber's pole here for the top 6, as it's ISRL CRL 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
With 7 laps to go. I mean, is this tire change gonna help? I feel like it's about time for Sweet and or our top. Let's see, what is that? Top 5. I feel like it's about time for them to come in and pit.
Yeah, but now that the likes of FIFA Beefy and Warriors pit for inters, that might be a bit of a call to action. But the other question too is we still have Gnarly in that right in the midst of the battle of the intermediate tires, and he's still on the hard tires. So this could be, if he's gaining even with the hard tires, it might be a bit of an indicator that it may or may not still be the time for inters yet. But I mean, I guess we'll have to see and monitor these gaps as the laps go on. As we actually have a yellow flag in sector
Oh,
1,
Chill
and
Mo
that's Chill Mo.
Oh no, we got another guy retired.
Yes, that's Chill Mo, unfortunately retiring from the session. I think
VSC.
another. Yep. So we have a VSC out. I'm actually gonna ride with Pastassin here just so I can hopefully see the car. But now with the VSC, we might see more drivers pitting. And yep, there we go, up into Eau Rouge. Eau Rouge takes another victim here. The likes of Chill Mo and Azen seemingly both falling victim to oh my goodness, to Eau Rouge. But here we go, yeah, so Sweet Crown 19, he goes into the pits getting on the intermediate tires. Stig going into the pits. I think Sophion, he actually opted to stay out, so he's going to go at least one more lap. But it looks like other than that, everybody else has gone into the pits.
This is where the change-up's going to happen.
Yeah, so this is where we're going to see a bit of a shake-up.
Still holding down P2. Sweet Crown had enough lead, it looks like, to still keep P1.
Yeah, made enough of a gap to keep that first place, and he's got Sophie on there for company and potentially a little bit of backup as well. But Stig on those inters coming very, very fast. Jer leaves the session as he's going into the pits, or sorry, coming out of the pits, it looks like. So not what he was hoping for as he exits his pit stop, because he's going to be very slow. Right as that wall of blue cars is flying by to do their turn down Eau Rouge. And
no,
disqualified.
He just got disqualified. I did not see what happened there.
I think he parked at the dangerous position of the track, so I think because he just had potentially no control of the car was probably parked right at the pit exit, and that's his race over just like that. So here on lap 16, we've got 3 ISRL drivers no longer in the race. But it's Sweet Crown 19 in first, Sophion in second, with Stig in third.
Which could definitely change things up when Sophion decides he's going to pit. There is no way he's going to try to finish this race to the end.
Oh no, I think there's still too many laps, and he's losing way too much time to Stig from what I'm seeing with the
Ooh. Knight got a little crazy there.
Yep, so as expected, Sophion is going into the pits now. Most likely to get on those intermediate tires here, so we're going to see a bit of a shake-up of the order here on lap 17.
I am getting some glitching going on as distance to the leader.
Yeah, these timing charts definitely glitch out more often than not, from what I've noticed in my comm experience. But sometimes you just kind of deal with it, bear with it, live with it, and it looks like Sophion coming out of the pits. Jumping. Yep, out in a 9.
Staying in the top 10.
Yep, so still in the top 10, but he's gonna have to watch out for the likes of J-Dog and Warriors, who are right behind them, and looking to gain some pace. And that's Equaz actually making a move on ISRL Carter. So Equaz up into 7th now. So it looks like he's feeling the car pretty well on those intermediate tires, as he already makes a move and probably looking to make more.
And here we are, still split. Am I seeing this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are still divided amongst the top 10, 5 and 5, with these challenging conditions. Wow. Carter gets himself another 3 seconds. I'm telling you, these penalties at the end of this race is what's going to determine it.
Oh, they're definitely going to add up.
Right now is going to be the finish. Let's see, Equa's still too far back. Stig is trying to make up 17-second difference on Sweet Crown. Once he got in front, he was gone. Bambino still trying to find somebody. He's got FIFA right behind him. Knight is trying to catch up, and he's got Infamous. Infamous is going to try to make a pass, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like Infamous Pillars makes the move, so up into 5th. Potentially a bit of a...
trying to catch up. Let's see, can Equals make something happen?
Let's take a look.
He
He's
is
right
kind
up
of on
close.
his lonesome, sadly.
Yeah, a little bit, and especially with these wet conditions, there's no DRS to help out down these straights either. So you're kind of just relying on
Ooh.
the setup and the engine power.
Assassin coming out of the pits. Where does... Oh, Assassin's been lapped.
Yeah,
Oh,
Assassin.
man. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, not what he was hoping for. It looks like he's actually on the on a set of dry tires as well, so potentially a bit of
Oh,
a
may not have checked his pit strategy.
Yeah, pit wall mistake there. So that's a very easy way to make a race go from bad to worse. Not what he was hoping for, as he's gonna have to trek.
Not.
No, and especially around Spa where it's a long track. That's a long way to trek around in dry tires in wet conditions, just to get back on those intermediate tires.
Sorry, I'm sitting here trying to count spots again.
That's all right. I'm keeping an eye on this.
As Assassin goes wide, Stunek is coming up to make to lap him. Man, that hurts to see. That's a good kid, man. He's a pretty solid driver. Can keep his head on his shoulders for the most part. Speaking of Stunek, he's got Iceman, right? Trying to work his way up his gearbox. They've only got one difference of lap on the tires. 2v3 from Stunek to Ice. It looks like Iceman is starting to gain. My sim dash is freaking out here, so it's not giving me the exact time between them.
Yeah, it looks like between a Stunek and Iceman, I don't have the actual time, but it looks like the gap is around 7/10 of a second, anywhere between
there,
6th and 7th. I'm looking at Equaz, who is getting very close to trying to make a move on Knight up into 6th.
But they both... Iceman just loses it, spins out.
Oh, that's not what you're hoping for, especially. But these are very tough conditions. It looks like on the, especially in the cockpit camera, from what I'm seeing. So definitely not envious of the drivers having to bear through these. But definitely a spin is not what you're hoping for this late in the race.
No. We got what, 3 laps left?
19, 20, 21. Yeah, about 3 laps and a little bit left. So not too much time now to recoup if there's a mistake made. Now I just saw Infamous Pillars. I think he passed FIFA Beefy to go up into 4th. So Infamous Pillars trying to make some moves late here in the race. But he's got a big gap to close if he wants any chance of the podium. That's currently being held by Suicrowd 19, BLK Stig, and Big Bambino.
So now what's different between this and an F1 race and how we usually do anything really is that we have decided to do points from P1 to P20, reverse the points. So P1's going to get 20 points, P20 is going to get 1 point. So it's going to be really interesting to see, with this still being pretty split up, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it's still pretty divided as far as the points would go. JJ Dog is still needing to make up some kind of time. Looks like he's probably going to still hold down a solid 10 points. However, Sofian and Carter...
Yeah, they're putting a bit of pressure on Equaz.
Yeah. And Beefy now.
Oh, Beefy.
Down. Oh.
Going into the pit.
Playing... Oh no, I wonder if he had some kind of wing damage?
Maybe he's feeling it could be time for the full wets.
It does look like the weather's getting that much worse.
And there we go.
He's only 2 laps left. That's still kind of risky.
Yeah, it's a very risky move, but we'll have to see if that pays off for him. Because FIFA Beefy, he did decide to put on the wets. He's up into 12. He's down into 12. Sorry now. But now it's a matter of keeping an eye on the gaps. Will they be growing or will they be closing here with these last 2 laps? But I do have to agree with you on thinking it might not be the best time, given there's only 2 laps to go.
Yeah, that's quite a risky call there.
No, I feel like it's one of those calls where unless the whole grid does it, it's not really worth it, as we've got Sophion and Equaz going side by side here. A little bit of contact there, getting the elbows out, but nothing too hectic from what I'm seeing. Just wet weather driving at its finest here. And it looks like Sophion is able to go around the outside, but Equaz is not giving any room to breathe, as they're still basically side by side, but Sophion just barely able to eke out the move to go up into 6th. But that was a really nice battle between Sophion and Equaz. Equaz threw almost, it seemed like, everything but the kitchen sink at him.
Well, he's definitely not giving up. He's still trying to hold on. Sadly, he's got 1 lap older tires, which really, I don't know if that's really going to matter at this point. I'd really like to see what track temperature and tire temperature are for each one of these drivers at this point. Who's pushing and who's actually just trying to maintain.
Make things interesting, but oh no, for unlucky for Equaz,
there was contact?
There was a little bit of contact. I think once again it's just the intermediate conditions. It didn't look like it was anything too serious, but Carter went and made a move down the inside.
Oh, and some more loving right there.
Yep, no.
Didn't realize they were that close of friends.
Yeah, and Carter actually gets the worst of it, as Equaz back up into 7th, and J-Dog is actually able to get his way up into 8th here on lap 21.
Looks really difficult right now in this wet.
Yeah,
That's something I'm yet to do, is actually this track in the wet. Have you?
I think I've done it on time trial a few times. Not the best conditions, if I do have to say. Already, Eau Rouge isn't the easiest part of the track either.
No, absolutely not.
But I'm seeing definitely some tank slappers from all the drivers here. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like FIFA Beefy. I was keeping an eye on the gaps. And it looked like he was closing up. He was closing the gap pretty quickly. But he might have had a bit of an incident, because now he's right back up behind a Stunik, who he was basically getting really away from earlier in the laps.
Your boy Carter here's got some fighting to do. He's got gear on the gearbox of JJ Dog and Equaz. Looks like he's struggling. Maybe these guys should have pitted quite a bit sooner for these full-on wet tires.
Maybe, but I don't think a lot of the drivers really expected the rain to pick up in the sheer way it did. So maybe that played into a bit of a factor as well.
Now let me ask you this. We typically do the top 3 interviews. Have you guys had the opportunity to try to do that with this new format that PlayStation's laid out?
Oh yeah, I mean, we definitely do some interviews after the races if the drivers are willing to join the post-game lobby and do them. So normally we send the invites. If they join, they join. If they don't, then we just tend to call it.
Quite frank, this is the first ooh! Some contact between Carter and JJ. Nobody got the short end of the stick. It looks like they still continuing straight right here on this last lap as the battle continues.
Yep, on the last lap here in these very wet and treacherous conditions, we've got Sweetcar 19 in the lead, Stig in 2nd, it looks like, and Bambino in 3rd, Infamous Pillars in 4th, and Knight rounding out the top 5. But there's still lots to play for in terms of timing, especially with the penalties, as one of these last true wild cards that we have yet to see, and we probably won't see until the end of the race when the ordering is officialized.
Let's see here. What else we got going on? This whole situation with JJ Dog, Equaz, and Carter's stayed pretty on the edge of your seat type of racing.
Oh yeah, it's definitely edge of your seat racing, as you said. Carter still in 9th, so J-Dog and Equaz doing a good job of holding down those that 7th and 8th position, and not letting up as Sweetcar 19 crosses the line in 1st place to take the win of the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa-Francorchamps. And it looks like Big Bambino making a move on Stig, as it looks like they're going through a style, and there's some contact. A nice little drift there by Stig, as it looks like he's still going to cross the line in second. Big Bambino in third. Infamous Pillars right behind in fourth, but Infamous Pillars up into
P3.
Yeah, after penalties up into third. So that was, I mean, almost catastrophic for CRL there, but thankfully Stig was able to catch it. And what's going on there? Thankfully they've all crossed the line.
Has he crossed the line yet?
Oh yes, they definitely crossed the line, as we can see. But wow, lots of shake-up. Equaz promoted up into fifth. After it's all said and done, Sophion in sixth, quite literally right behind him there. On the timing sheet, and then we've got J-Dog, Warrior, and J-Dunk 7, 8, and 9, and Knight actually rounds out the top 10 spots here.
What a race! Let's see if we can get. You want to call out the top 3 for me, please?
Yeah. So I know Sweet Crown 19 was the winner of the race.
Okay, so he's on your list. I don't have him on mine. And then we had Stig and...
It was Infamous Pillars who got the podium, or the last podium spot.
So I'll get Stig in here. Let's see if we can get your guys in. What a race. Wow. Can't say it was a clean sweep, but...
Yeah, I'll have to see.
I'm glad I was sitting here on the sidelines and watching and commentating and wasn't part of that race.
I'm glad. Oh, we should also... Okay, Passassin had a glitch where he couldn't choose his tires, and they wouldn't put him on rain tires. So he drove the last... Yes, he drove all the wet in, like, softs or mediums. So...
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, we saw that. I guess
was pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, I think that explains why he came out on those mediums there. Okay, that makes a bit more sense now.
Yeah, he couldn't choose for some reason, and Jeff, yeah, it was even like well into the wet. Jeff was like, I think we could switch to the inters. It's like,
well,
yeah, we got Infamous coming in. Infamous, how you got the podium here, albeit on penalties. How are you feeling after that race?
Tired.
Tired? Oh yeah, I guess a little bit late for you.
It's like what, 1 o'clock in the morning?
10 to 3.
10 to 3. Oh my goodness.
10 to 3.
Well,
damn.
Wow. Yeah, we'll try not to keep you for too long then, because you're probably looking to crash after this.
No, honestly, like happy to get in P3. Had a bit of a rough kind of race really, dropping all the way to the back, but managed to get up as far as I could. And when I saw what had happened in front of me in the bus stop, I wanted to try and go underneath both of them, but couldn't quite do it.
Oh yeah, and it's something I gotta ask you, and actually both of you drivers here in the party, in terms of the rain, because I got a little bit of the pit wall here, but did you take the rain in account when planning your strategy, or did you just kind of roll with it on the fly?
just straight on the fly, just seeing how it was going. I was obviously, we were all in a party chat, so we just tried and follow suit as much as we could of each other and cover them off. But no, it worked out really.
Oh, perfect. Well, that's great. I'm happy to hear that.
We planned, I guess, with the party chat CRL guys, we were talking about it all the time. Once I was out of Q3, I was like, okay, we were actually trying to see if we should go on to hards, but we're like, no, mediums will be fine until the rain, and I was just stick with that plan, and it actually panned out for us, especially with the safety car. I wouldn't have been up to P4, P5 without that safety car, so it just worked in my favor.
There you go.
That was quite the race. I mean, especially for you, Stig. Come from back to being up there. Oh, that was awesome. And you, Pillars, Infamous. That was.
Yep.
We were sitting here talking about how it was strange that you were holding down the back of the grid pretty hard when you got provisional P1 and Q1.
Yeah, after that.
I bottled both Q3 laps. And then
there too.
The guy I was sharing the garage with was on CRL's team, so.
Oh, was it?
Always,
okay.
He was always in front of me when I wanted to box, so I had to wait both times when I pitted.
We saw that double stack. We weren't able to see exactly who it was that was in front of you. So that thanks for the clarification. That's kind of interesting that the game sorted out that way.
It came up in qualifying on our side too, like an ISRL guy could be your pit guy. So it was like, oh, that could have come into play like it did. Unfortunately, it seems like for him, Infamous Pillars.
It didn't seem to phase him none.
Oh no, but I think I don't know if you have anything else to add, but I think this might bring us to the end of the stream because I don't think Sucron 19. I don't think he's going to be joining the party here for the interview. It's very late for him as well, so he probably wanted to get off and head to bed after the race.
Well, good times were had. Really enjoyed that. That was a blast. I hope we can do this again sometime. I think we're going to look at trying to do another one of these league races so we can pick up a 4th league to do this with.
Yeah, it could add an extra level of intensity there, having some.
We could set up like a tournament,
of the leagues there.
Like if you get enough leagues, guys, do a tournament. These two versus these two, or if we have 6, do a bracket style, and then work towards who's the championship, and we can even have. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, it could be some cool ideas to explore. But from
the CRL side, and I'm sure from the ISRL side, would like to thank you guys for joining us this evening. Some of our drivers have stayed up really late. I know we've got a couple drivers from the UK ourselves. It sounds like ISRL does as well.
Yep.
And want to wish everybody a great evening, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. I think CRL is about to cut ours off.
Yep, I think ISRL is about to cut ours off. So thank you so much for hosting me here in the commentators booth, Bowtie. Had a great time. Was a great race.
It was a blast.
And to everybody watching at home, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, have a great night, everyone.
Stay classy, San Diego.